I had dreamt once that we had adopted 2 little girls that had curly hair.
We were sitting in service one day, and God just kept tugging on our hearts about adoption. We knew how hard foster care and adoption could be, and I just kept getting more and more excited and saying, I think this is what God's calling us to do.
We showed up to my mom's house, and she's got 3 little girls, a newborn, and Bailey and Jada, and I was like, Mom, you can't do this. And so we didn't hesitate. We just said, we're taking them.
Jennifer called me and she says, I have these 2 little boys and I can take the baby, but I can't take the 2-year-old because I already have one of those. And anyway, she goes, well, I thought Ben was not ready to do foster care. So I called, and then he stopped in the middle of his questions and he goes, wait, the answer's yes, I just have a lot of questions. And I could have fainted because I didn't know how much God was working on you and your yes.
There was a connection that I had with this little 5-week-old boy that I did not have with other infants that I had held.
I thought, this isn't what I thought my life was going to look like in my 50s. And there's a verse in this song, and it's talking about Jesus, and it says, every precious one, a child you died to save. If you gave your life to love them, so will I. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. Jesus died for Julian, so what am I going to sacrifice?
God is all about adoption. That is the model for us to come into his family.
House Church, they all surrounded us.
Lorraine started the whole salsa thing. I remember some kids just rode their bicycle over to our house one day, knocked on the door to buy salsa. And I was like, okay, which we were using to fund, the adoption stuff.
We're raising brothers, and they get to see each other at church, and they get to see each other outside of church, and they have that bond and that relationship. And then Julian has a deep relationship with Mark and Jen because they live down the street. They're his aunt and uncle.
Our kids don't know anything else.
Yeah. So normal.
It's so normal to them to have a family that's not blood related.
My family really is these people, my house church, the church I attend. That is my family.
It wasn't easy, but I would do it again, right?